Sakai used to be on top of the world. As the lead vocalist and guitarist of South Korea's most popular K-pop band, The Crown, he had everything: fame, wealth, fans, and a seemingly unshakable reputation. With his vibrant personality, striking looks, and boundless optimism, people often described him as someone who was blessed by the universe. His eyes sparkled like rare gems, and he believed, quite confidently, that no one had prettier eyes than him. His fans called him the child of destiny, and his future looked brighter than ever. But in a single night, everything came crashing down. It all started with one reckless evening. Sakai got drunk, completely out of his mind, and did something that shocked everyone. He hit his agency's CEO, Jo Jin-hwa. What's worse, the incident was caught on video and quickly spread across social media like wildfire. The internet exploded with outrage. Scandal after scandal surfaced. Headlines questioned his character. Sponsors dropped him. His name became synonymous with disgrace. The agency acted quickly. Sakai was suspended from all activities, and his future with the Crown was put on hold. His bandmates were affected too. The media dug up their pasts, and the group's image suffered severe damage. Sakai, once considered untouchable, was now the center of controversy. People questioned everything. How could someone who looked so innocent and kind act this way? Was it all just a fake image? For Sakai, the fall from grace was devastating. One moment, he was the nation's sweetheart. The next, he was a public disgrace. His relationship with his CEO, whom he once admired deeply, was shattered. "I respected him like my own father," Sakai said with tears in his eyes, "and I punched him." He couldn't even remember what exactly happened that night. The only thing he recalled was the taste of a strange cocktail and then, nothing. The rest was a blur. As punishment, he was asked to take time off and reflect. The agency sent him away from the spotlight, suggesting he focus on his studies at Hanju University, something he had registered for but never attended because of his hectic idol life. Suddenly, Sakai found himself alone, with no schedule, no fans cheering him on, and no certainty about his future. Adding to the chaos, all his earnings were used to pay off penalties and contract cancellations. With his money gone, his agency ties cut, and his public image ruined, he had nowhere to go. Homeless, ashamed, and confused, he wandered the city with no plan. "Let my body take me wherever," he said. That's when he saw a small handwritten sign on a house, "Room for rent." Something pulled him there. He knocked on the door, not knowing that this place would become the beginning of a whole new chapter in his life. A chapter filled with unexpected friendships, hidden memories, and a melody that had haunted his dreams for years. And that house belonged to Kim Bom. Part 2. A Melody from a Dream, Sakai meets Kim Bom. The moment Sakai stepped into the rented room upstairs, something felt strange, familiar, almost nostalgic. The house was modest, a little old-fashioned but warm. What he didn't expect was that the owner of the house was a girl he had never met before, and yet, when he saw her, his heart trembled. Her name was Kim Bom. Their first encounter wasn't dramatic in a cinematic way, no accidental falls, no shared umbrellas under the rain. It was simple, yet, as soon as Sakai laid eyes on her, his heart skipped a beat. A soft melody echoed in his mind, the same melody he had heard over and over in his dreams for years. He was so overwhelmed that tears welled up in his eyes. He didn't even understand why. Who are you?" he whispered inwardly. It was the first time they met, but it felt like they had known each other forever. Unbeknownst to Kim Bom, she had just come face to face with a man carrying pieces of her past. And Sakai, though confused and emotionally shaken, was now determined to find out why he felt such a deep, unexplainable connection to her. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing that melody. Was it really a coincidence? Or was fate playing a role here? There was a memory buried deep in his heart, faint and fragmented, of him as a child, bleeding from his eyes. Could it be possible? Had he received an eye donation from someone close to her? The mystery of Kim Bom was now tightly woven into the mystery of his past. Meanwhile, life in Kim Bom's house wasn't peaceful either. She lived with her quirky cousin, Kyuri, and her mother. Kyuri was eccentric, overly confident, and hilariously self-absorbed. She believed every man had a crush on her, even Sakai, much to his confusion and discomfort. "Oppa, don't try to hide your feelings," she said boldly one day. "I know you like me." Sakai didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Despite the chaos, Kim Bom remained calm and gentle. She was a music student at Hanju University, once a dreamer who had aimed for Ivy League schools. But life had changed after the death of her mother 6 years ago. Now, she simply wanted to survive, pay the rent, support her family, and maybe make music that healed hearts. Their connection grew when Sakai learned that she composed music. One particular composition, the same melody that haunted his dreams, came from her. He finally asked her about it during an emotional moment after catching her just before she fell on campus. "Promise me," he said breathlessly, "tell me where that melody came from." But Kim Bom couldn't answer. Not because she didn't want to, but because even she didn't fully understand its origin. It was as if the melody had always existed inside her. From that day on, Sakai's purpose shifted. He no longer simply wanted to recover his idol life. He wanted to uncover the truth behind that melody. Behind Kim Bom, behind himself. Little did he know, music would bring them closer and take them deeper into a past neither of them remembered fully. Part 3. A band, a battle, and a burst of jealousy. As the days passed at Hanju University, Sakai began to adapt to his new life, slowly, awkwardly, but with his usual optimism. Though he had once performed on world stages, now he was just another student trying to blend in. But blending in was never easy for someone like Sakai. His energy was too bright, his aura too loud, and his passion too honest. Soon, he crossed paths with Kotae Yang, a charismatic and skilled guitarist who was studying medicine. Tae Yang was talented and respected on campus, particularly in the university's prestigious band club. From the moment they met, sparks flew. Not romantic ones, but competitive ones. Tae Yang was everything Sakai used to be, admired, disciplined, and at the top of his game. The tension between them came to a head during a spontaneous musical battle in front of students. It started playfully, but quickly escalated into a jaw-dropping duel of talent. Tae Yang played the guitar with precision and complexity. Sakai responded with his usual flair, even mimicking drum beats using his guitar, a performance so unconventional and raw that it stunned the audience. Though everyone was cheering, Sakai unexpectedly stopped and admitted defeat. "You win," he said sincerely, "your skill is real." It was a moment of humility that surprised even Tae Yang. But music wasn't the only thing heating up. Kyuri, ever the dramatic, continued to insert herself between Sakai and Kim Bom. Her wild imagination convinced her that she and Sakai were meant to be, and she wasn't shy about expressing it in front of others, especially Tae Yang, who clearly had feelings for her. Unfortunately for him, Kyuri was too focused on chasing Sakai to notice. "I like Sakai Oppa," Kyuri announced loudly one day, completely misunderstanding the situation. "Even if he doesn't like me back, I'll keep liking him." That's what true love is. Tae Yang was speechless. It was more than just embarrassing, it was painful. Amidst the chaos, Kim Bom remained reserved. But Sakai couldn't hide his growing interest. He admired her piano skills, her kindness, and the quiet strength behind her gentle demeanor. He invited her to form a new band club with him, a fresh start outside of the one led by Tae Yang. "Let's make music together," he told her, "not because of fate or dreams, but because your playing makes my heart move." Kim Bom hesitated. Her heart was still guarded, her past still painful. But the way Sakai looked at her, with sincerity, not stardom, moved something inside her. And so the new band club was born, joined by a few unique students, Kyuri, Jinji Yu, and Tae Yang himself, eventually. It wasn't a perfect group. In fact, it was hilariously dysfunctional. But it had heart. As rehearsals began and music filled the air, something started to change, not just in their melodies, but in their relationships. Trust was built. feelings grew, and buried memories began to stir. For Sakai, this wasn't just a comeback. It was a rebirth. Part 4. The Truth Beneath the Notes. The new band began practicing regularly, their music slowly taking shape. For the first time in a long while, Sakai felt peace, not the kind that came from applause but from connection. Playing music not for fame but with people who shared a dream grounded him. Even with all their quirks, he grew to care about each member, especially Kim Bom. But the mystery surrounding the melody never left his mind. It kept haunting his dreams. Every night, at the same time, 5:45 a.m., he'd wake up in a cold sweat, hearing the same tune echoing in his ears. That melody, the one Kim Bom had composed, was identical to what he had heard since he was a child. It couldn't be a coincidence. He finally confronted her. "Where did you learn that melody?" he asked one afternoon after rehearsal. Kim Bom looked startled. I don't know. I've just always known it. Since I was a kid. It comes to me like a memory, not something I made." That answer shook Sakai to his core. Pieces of his past started surfacing, fragments he had buried deep. He remembered blood pouring from his eyes as a child, a long stay at a hospital, and whispers about a donation. Could it be that he received someone else's eyes? And those eyes, could they have belonged to someone who knew Kim Bom? The theory seemed wild, but everything pointed to something bigger connecting them. The emotion, the melody, the tears upon seeing her, all of it. And there was more. Sakai began to suspect his former agency CEO, Jo Jinhua, knew something. The way the CEO reacted to Sakai's drunken words 6 years ago, the way he was so quick to shut him down now, made it clear. He was hiding something. In a tense confrontation, Sakai asked him directly, "What happened 6 years ago?" "What did I do? You remember," the CEO replied coldly. "You were there." But Sakai didn't. He only remembered vague shadows and the overwhelming feeling of guilt. Still, the CEO's words planted a seed of doubt. Why was he being threatened with military service or exile abroad now? What were they trying to cover up? At the same time, Kim Bom was dealing with her own battles. Her cousin Kyuri had secretly taken out loans and caused financial trouble, threatening the family's home. Bom had to raise money quickly, which meant working extra shifts and selling her compositions. But when a major agency offered to buy her music in exchange for full rights and no credit, she was torn. "It won't be your song anymore," they told her. She thought of Sakai, the boy who had cried at her melody, who played guitar like it was a language, who looked at her not as a composer, but as a person. In her quiet, determined way, she declined the offer. Meanwhile, Sakai made a bold move. He confronted the CEO on camera and announced his resignation from the crown. He would take full responsibility for the scandal and step away, even if it cost him everything. His fans were heartbroken. His parents offered their entire savings to cover the penalties. The entertainment world watched in shock. But Sakai walked away, with no money, no fame, and no clear future. Except, he had Kim Bom. And the melody, the only clue left to unlock the past. Part 5. The Spring That Waited, Healing, Harmony, and Hidden Histories. With the glitter of stardom now behind him, Sakai embraced a simpler, quieter life. He attended classes like a normal student, practiced music with his new band, and spent more time in the old, creaky house that Kim Bom called home. For once, he was building something that didn't rely on fans, image, or popularity, but on real connections, effort, and truth. The band club became a sanctuary for everyone. Jin Ji-yu, who often doubted his own talent, finally felt heard. Kyuri, though still dramatic and delusional in love, found acceptance. Kotae Yang, once cold and competitive, slowly softened and became a reliable leader. And at the center of it all was Kim Bom, whose quiet presence anchored the chaos around her. But the storm inside Sakai hadn't fully settled. As the campus festival approached, a chance for the band to perform on stage, memories continued to bubble to the surface. He recalled being in a hospital room as a child, seeing a girl with long hair crying softly while someone was being wheeled away. He remembered the sound of a piano echoing through the hospital halls, playing that same melody. That girl, was it Kim Bom? He couldn't shake the feeling that they had met before. Not just met, but shared something painful, something beautiful. Meanwhile, Kim Bom found herself drawn to Sakai more deeply each day. She noticed how he'd pause when watching her play piano, how he'd go silent when the melody came up. And one day, while walking past the music building, she found him sitting alone with his guitar, staring at the sky. "Do you believe," he asked her gently, "that people who are meant to meet will always find each other again?" Kim